Okay, Capricorn, your turn. Let's talk about what's going on for you. I am going to do a little bit of astrology in this reading. I'm going to put a little bit in this part, the YouTube part. I am going to talk a lot more in the extended about astrology as it goes through the end of this year. There's a lot going on. I have my handy dandy little whiteboard, which I will show you. Just helps me keep it all straight, right? So there's interesting themes going on here. Lots of first house stuff because Capricorn in your first house. We do have Pluto. I'm going to talk a lot about Pluto because Pluto in your sign is leaving. It's going to be in 29 degrees, very much in December and then into January. And then it's going to ingress, it's called, into Aquarius. January 20th. And for most of next year, it is going to be in Aquarius. It's going to wobble back into your sign and then back into Aquarius until 2043. So it's worth talking about. And the final end of a sign, the final few degrees of a sign is really loud. And since it's your sign, I really want to spend some time on it. So we'll do more of that in the extended. But right now, let's go. Let's see what's happening for you. All right, let's see what's happening for you, Capricorn. Wow, shadow. Okie doke. New life. Growth. Don't drag that shadow with you. All right, don't drag that shadow with you. I feel like there could be a lot of things going on at the end of this year. I will do the regular December reading, but I just wanted to do this kind of, mix it up with the astrology just because it was so interesting and so much going on in December that it really needed this reading to talk about it. So I feel like some of you over the course until January 20th are going to experience growing pains, going to experience like the birth of a new life, going to experience something really profound and very triggering. So what triggers are, all they are, is if you have an outsized reaction to something that's going on in your life, meaning people would be like, wow, that was loud. Like you might be furious about something that somebody else might just be a little upset by or not even be upset. And you just are like, wow, that was kind of, what's going on here? There's more going on. That's what a trigger is. It makes you feel like, so I'll talk while I'm shuffling, but I had an outsized reaction to a woman at an art store kind of really shaming me for choosing the wrong paper for watercolors. And it was just like a normal reaction would have been, oh, thanks for that. I'll go get the other paper. But the way she talked to me and everything like that, I just like burst into tears and left. And my husband at the time was just like, what's going on with you? Why was that? Why, it was like crying for like 5 minutes. And that's what a trigger looks like. Okay. So let's see what's going on for Capricorn. Yeah. 8 of Cups. You're definitely leaving something behind, going towards something a lot better. Something that you are clear about. Could be dealing with an Aries. Lots of celebration here. Page of Cups. Okay. Page of Cups. And I almost feel like what you leave behind kind of collapses. So you're not walking away and throwing a match or anything like that. You could be walking away from a really toxic person. Okay. Some of you could be ending a situation with an Aries or an Aquarius. Some of you could be stepping into your own power and going and doing what you want. And I just feel like other people are going to have a triggered reaction to that for some reason. I feel like if you are leaving behind a job, a relationship, or anything like that, you're definitely walking away towards something you want. Other people are not super psyched about that. Now, that may trigger you, that this is, that you feel responsible for these people. You feel responsible for their well-being, for their financial well-being, for their, some of you could be just like, so I'm just going to say this to you. Some of you could stop coddling kids and they're just like freaking out. You're just like, you know what? It's time for you to start doing things on your own. And I think some of you might be getting remarried, and then there's a big change for kids or for the other people that were connected to you. Something like that. I feel like there is a celebration, there is joy, there might be children around this situation. And this Five of Pentacles and the Nine of Swords. I feel like somebody, I don't think this is you. I feel like you don't see this coming. I feel like somebody is going to crash or do something that forces you to go back into the situation. Like you leave a job and the person, there's just no one to pick up the slack. And so the whole thing crashes. Whatever projects you've been working on kind of crash. Some of you definitely might be triggered by that. I'm responsible for this. I've got to go back. So you got a new job or you're starting your own business or something like that. And you got to go back and help these other people out. You got to go back and take care of the kids. You got to go back and take care of your ex-husband or ex-wife. You've got to deal. Some of you are dealing with people who have been uber dependent on you. And it's almost like you can't just unplug from this. It has to be a little more gradual. Okay, it has to be a little more gradual. So 7 of Pentacles, the Death card, Ace of Pentacles. Definitely a new life. 100%. Going towards something really good. All right, going towards something really good. You could have built something. I was working at a company and the owner sold it to a bigger company. And funny enough, it was in 2008. It was the year that all the banks fell off a cliff. And it was right at the time when Pluto was moving into Capricorn, into your sign. That's when the banks fell off a cliff, that year in 2008. And we've been with Pluto and Capricorn since that time. So we're watching, and Pluto and Capricorn is about structures and rules and the way we do things no longer working. Anything that isn't working anymore, upended, towers, okay? So there's definitely something that you've put in place. Let's see. Why are you doing that? Stop doing that. Okay, 3 of Pentacles. Sorry, that's just irritating. 3 of Pentacles, 2 of Wands, and the 7 of Swords. King of Pentacles. Okay, there you are. Could be dealing with a water sign. Usually earth and water, a lot of connections there. 8 of Wands and the 4 of Cups. Yeah, I just feel like you're teaching other people what you're doing. Okay, you're making decisions for your own life. And the other people, none of them want to be responsible for themselves. None of them. So, I'm moving to the other side of the country. I have, I'm getting married and I'm moving all the way across the country. I think some of you could really be physically leaving a town, leaving a situation, and the other people just kind of collapse. Going toward what you want. And I think they lie to get you back. All right. Or they lie to try to get you to come back and you take care of it. Okay. If this is kids, I think that you drop them off at college and immediately, they get kicked out of their dorm for having a huge party, or you give them a credit card and they go out and they spend it all up, $20,000, right? Zoom. Wow. Okay. Something like that. Like everybody else is showing no responsibility. Please clarify the 5 of Pentacles and the 9 of Swords. Hermit, Chariot, 10 of Swords. You're so done. 5 of Cups. I feel like some of you are going to regret like the way you leave this behind. Like, I should have done more. I should have taught them about this. I should have spent more time. I shoulda. But this is really a timeline thing that you have to go forward. And I think that you might have some regrets about other people getting hurt or other people doing stupid things or other people, your kids or your ex-wife not being able to function or something like that. This is a big life change. Okay. And the trigger is, or the shadow is, I'm responsible for everybody else. So if you've spent a lot of your time, a lot of your life, that's called codependency. I know you think that, well, this is my role in the family. It's my job to like make sure my little brother doesn't get into problems. It's my job to make sure, mom is taken care of. It's my job. And there's something going on here that removes you from that role. And I don't think you leave anybody to die. I don't think it's like, oh, well, mom, you're on your own. I don't think that's it. I think you give the responsibility, you hand it off. And that person can't do it. Okay? And that person can't do it. So the Three of Pentacles is like you spending time teaching. You teach other people how to do what they need to do. Two of Wands. This is within the next 2 weeks. So Seven of Swords, High Priestess, Devil, wow, Judgment, all major arcana cards. Okay, so this may seem like not that big a deal because these are the cards underneath that you don't see coming. And, basically what you don't see coming is that you go off and do something that's good for you and everybody else falls apart. You're not really seeing that, right? And so there's this sense of like, I got to go back and do it again. This Seven of Swords, there is a lot. There's your Capricorn energy. There is a lot going on behind the scenes. Okay, there is a lot. And I almost feel like your choice has to do with a relationship. You might be leaving behind a marriage. You might be, the divorce is final, or you're moving away from the town where you used to live. And so having the kids go back and forth wasn't that big a deal, but now you're living 3,000 miles away or something like that. And it's like about your choice, something to do with your choice. And I think there's going to be some people who kind of yell at you for making this choice. And they might have already done that. You might have already experienced that. And I feel like this is super stubborn. I just feel like people are like, nope, you're coming back and you're going to handle it. I'm not going to do anything about it. So you call and you're trying to get people to do and everything like that. And they're like, nope, it's up to you. If you want your house to fall into the ocean, that's fine. I'm not going to take care of it anymore. Maybe the house hasn't sold and you need it to be sold. I don't know. There's definitely something that you're leaving behind in somebody else's charge and they are not doing it. So I think this is coming through because it's not just that like, oh, you're going to have to go back and clean up someone's mess. It's that let's learn about keeping people codependent. There's definitely something about loving to feel needed, wanting to be needed, because Pluto is in your first house of your ego. All right. So I'm not saying you're an egomaniac. I'm saying that Pluto is the energy that rules Scorpio. Okay. And it is about change and transformation. It is about what changing and transforming who I am. So I'm going into some kind of new thing, right? Because Pluto is going to leave the first house in House of Capricorn and move into Aquarius. That's your second house. So you could be going out to get a job. All right, going out for the first time ever, and the house just falls to shit. Like none of the kids do any of the chores. Nobody's feeding the dog. You're right. You're coming home and it's a disaster. And it's like, oh, what? Okay. So Pluto is a tower where you suddenly recognize that the way you've been handling the situation makes it much, much harder for you to grow and change and move on with your life. So there's a sense of like, I've got to go back and backfill what I didn't do with these kids, or what I didn't do with my ex-wife, or what I didn't do. I might need to go back and say, okay, I see. And you're going to have to change your approach. You can't go back and clean it up because you got a new job now. You live in another part of the country. You're remarried, whatever it is. And you're going to have to say it's going to be more this is as much a change for you as it is for these people. So you're going to have to understand that you're now going to need to be a coach instead of the guy who does it or the gal who does everything. You're going to have to say to these kids, now, what would you have done differently? You're going to have to make them, or no, that's not right. Help them to see why it would benefit them to do the thing you need them to do. That's your new problem here. That's your new thing. It is going to require a lot of communication, a lot. Okay. And you already have this new life. You're already going in this new direction. And everybody is like, nope, come on back. We want you to come back here and do everything for us. Why is this not? Okay. So this is an interesting thing. I'm completely nagged by the fact that these cards won't lay the way I want them to. And I think that's part of the reading. The cards are not laying the way I want them to. The things aren't working the way you want them to. Okay. So I think there's an awareness that's coming in that's basically saying, maybe it's not going to be the way you did it. Maybe it's not. Because Pluto moving out of your sign into Aquarius, it's like it breaks through all of those, the way we used to do things, the rules of, right, Saturn, your ruling planet, the rules of things. And now it's about innovation. So I think that the changes for them to stick really need to be about innovation. They need to be about, okay, well, don't do it the way I used to do it. Don't do it the way I used to do it. Maybe I used to make you lunch every day. As my child, I made you lunch every day. Maybe now you need to have a job to get lunch money, or I need to give you lunch money. Maybe you're not capable of packing a lunch. Okay, you do you. It's sort of like you're going to need other people to make those decisions for themselves. So let's not just copy my style. I think the work here is, what do you guys want? How do you want to have the house look? And unhooking yourself from being the one in charge. Okay. So I'm not saying you're leaving a bunch of kids living in your house while you move 3,000 miles away. That happened to somebody in my high school and that house was destroyed. So please don't do that. This is more about like, okay, new life happening. And the new person in charge is going to have to put their own stamp on it. All right. Your job, let's see where you're going here. 10 of Pentacles, King of Wands, very nice. 3 of Wands, 2 of Cups. Like I see you moving in the direction of something that's much lighter. You're not the one who has to do everything for everybody. You are completely changing your life. Okay. I'm going to talk about this more in the extended, but we have, North Node in Aries is in your 4th house. Moving, okay? And Aries is about you taking action on your own behalf. Leadership, showing leadership. True leadership is not just copy me. True leadership is knowing the strengths of the people around you and giving them work or jobs or responsibilities that help them grow, but also that they are prepared for in the way that they could grow and learn in that position. So if this is a business or whatever like that, that's what could be happening. If this is kids and an ex and all that kind of stuff and everybody falls apart because you are keeping everybody together, they need to find their own way. And your kids, you don't want them, you don't want everything to completely be out of control for them. So what's my role now? Different role. And I feel like you're moving in you are realizing a lot of dreams. All right. You're realizing a lot of dreams. The South Node is in Libra in your 10th house of career. So I almost feel like this has more to do with you going toward your passion project, maybe starting a business, but it's like it's from your home, or it's something to do with your home, like you're moving to do something. It's something that is nurturing to you. It's not a corporate job, because 10th house in Libra, which is everybody else needs my, needs my input. I need to be part of the team in order for it to work. No, no, no. Now you're in charge of something and everybody else has to pick up the slack. You're not doing everything for everybody. Stop doing that. That's no longer what you're doing. The way for you to be successful in this new life is for you to let other people do it. And you just being the leader of that, which is very different than blending into a team. Even if you're a natural leader of a team, you're part of the team. This is now like, okay, here are the jobs, or here's the thing I need done. Okay, so it's up to you, however you want to do it. All right, so this Four of Cups here, there's a moment in time when you're like, I can't let these people do it. I've got to do it. No. Page of Swords, World, we're done here. Three of Swords and this Eight of Pentacles. Yeah. So this is a growing pain for you. This is definitely about, you feeling like the change that's happening here is good for you. But I also feel like you would just step right in again and do everything for everybody. And that's not what you're supposed to be doing. Okay. North Node in the fourth house is much more about what's nurturing and comforting, not what is codependent. That's different. All right. Codependency is unhealthy. It's a shadow aspect. Something that's healthy is where you're going. Okay. It's where you're going. So I'm going to talk more about the astrology of the end of this year in the extended, and I'll see where you're going. This definitely feels like you've already left the building and have to come back, but all right, we'll see where we're going. Link is below, Capricorn. I'll see you over there. All right, I hope you enjoyed that video. If it was helpful to you, please consider liking this video and sharing it with anybody who might have a need for similar kind of information. And if you like this video, check out these videos.